Hello there everyone, this is I Am Mark 3 and welcome back to Cliff Empire. Ooh. Post-apocalypse in the snow and... Sorry, this is a very interesting aesthetic for the game, as I've said before, it's what I love, and it's also... it worries me because it might happen. It's possible. So let's put it that way. Okay, let's skip the intro then. Right. I walked you through that at the start. So yeah, this is a continuation from last time. And it seemed to be in favour of continuing the series, and I didn't go as far as I felt I could with it. So, very quickly, we've got the same settings. Default, orbital orders, natural disasters, marauders can attack, and regular marauder attacks. This is a very nasty one, really is, and that's what killed us last time as well. Though I think I've got a better grip on it this time. Let's get in there, pause, and see what we've got to work with. Full disclosure, because of a lack of information, I actually went poking around since I last recorded the last part, and I've got a bit of a better grip on the structures. My ability to manage the cities, though, still sucks, basically. But yeah, the defensive structure. So I've learned a few bits and pieces. First off, all defenses have roughly the same range. Second off, I don't think the missiles have airburst capability, which is what their description hints at. So yeah, that's the thing. Third off, the wall missile launchers suck very much. They are basically a wall-mounted, very, very, very expensive, much larger equivalent of the... I'm thinking this one. Of the surface-mounted launchers. So yeah, they are very costly to have around. Lastly, Lollard, I saw your comment, which suggested that, hey, do you think that... I'm almost tempted to go with this one, actually. We've got Shard, North Coast, and Quiet Coast. I do like the North Coast, Quiet Coast combination. Though, that said, we had these two last time as well, so that's the reason I'm going to skip it now. Anyway, Lola suggested maybe the fighters help distract incoming fire. They do not. The fighters are basically like the gun turrets, but they fly out and start shooting stuff. I think they've got more rate of fire than the gun turrets, but they don't do as much damage, and that seems to be the scaling of it. A given defense does a given rate of damage roughly, but the details don't go much further than that, unfortunately, which is a sad thing to work out, but I think it's what's going on. I don't know. I'm looking for some nice places we can settle in with, honestly. But I'm not quite... I want water because I want to get access to fish without trading for it. I just wish I could actually get more information on these lands before we actually do anything. Because if there's one thing I've realised from Marauder Constant, it is a pain. Very much so. But the thing is, I won't know what my islands are good for until I actually settle and specialise on them. So, I've got two water islands. I've got Spire. Heavenly Water's usually a good one. And Split. But I've also discovered, in my poking, that a given named one doesn't guarantee having the same resources on it. Which is also a shame. It means that you have to guess a bit each time, so... Fish is 100, he's got a big pond, it's usually fish, but like this one's got wind and sunshine. Yeah. This one, Heaven Water can pick whatever power generation it wants to. This place is going to be a sunshine. Spire just sucks for the most part. 50% wind, but it's very good for water, though. So I think we're going to go with this one. We've got Split, Spire, and Heaven Water. And so we are going to begin. And something I mentioned thinking about at the end of last time is that I am going to be calling in multiple colonies because that will help scatter the attacks and protect us a bit better. And I think that still think that's quite true, so I'm going to do this here.
Large construction completed.
Pause.
Objective completed.
Okay, we are going to found Spire as well. I am thinking, yeah, about here is where I want it to be. So,
Large
oh, I think I knocked that out of
completed.
position. Oh, damn it! Please don't be in a bad position. Please don't be in a bad position. I think I put you on tile in the wrong place, didn't I? Come on. Yeah. Yes, I did. Well, darn it. Yeah, that is out of position. It's 3 in rather than the 2 in, which is what I wanted. So, I'm going to scrap this one immediately. Yes, demolish. Oh, the ship disappeared. Okay, cool. And I'll put it there instead.
Large
And that's just because I'm trying to line things up with the grids. And this also means we've got some spare rubble. Maybe some spare drones? We're going to find out in a moment. But anyway, split. We need to put something down on split as well. And I'm going to put one here.
Large construction completed.
There we go. So we've got our things going down. I'm wondering if this is going to drop off some extra drones though. I'm not quite sure about this. The drones are the only thing that carry over if the initial depot gets blown up. So you've dropped, but you do not. Okay, so we only get the 3 drones no matter what. The difference is we've got a bunch of extra rubble though, so yeah. Okay, we've got 3 landing sites. Let us continue. We need to connect these places. So we need bridges, which I need to turn off the information. Okay, so I think one there, one there. I should stop holding shift for placing multiple things. It's a bad habit I've gotten into, but it's in so many games that's the case. Though, do that. I'll install a passenger connection as well, subways. So I'm laying the groundwork now, so I know exactly where these links are. I'll also install pedestrian streets either side, just for appearance's sake, and because it makes it nice and rounded out, basically. Though unfortunately, Spire is a bit of a congested place to be trying to work with. And then lastly, I'll put in lightning posts. And again, this is just like trying to make efficient use of the space, but I'm not going to build all this straight away because if I tried to, I'd be out of matter in all locations really quickly. So I'm just going to start pausing things. Though actually I'll unpause that one. This is an area one, so right. Now there has been since I recorded, there has been a few minor updates. For example, there is actually now an alternative landing pad involved here, and I think you're in the middle. I'll build that one, that bridge there. Though because I've not built it this side, it will not connect immediately. But on the right side, at least you'll get the thing over there sorted out. So that's kind of what I'm after. I'll also put down residential complexes on my 2 secondary islands, because that will allow people to move over. I'll also install basic essentials like a matter mine. I should pause this a little bit, because there is building projects for the guys to do, except for the heavenly water. Heavenly water? Heaven water. I'm thinking a matter mine here. There we go. So you're doing stuff. Split will also get a matter mine and a house. Let's put the matter mine there. And the house can go right next to the mine, which I'm sure will be absolutely lovely for the residents involved. But at least I'll put the trees between the mine and the actual housing. So that's going on. Right, why do I keep calling you Heavenly Water? Heaven Water. Let's continue. I need a residential here as well, But since I plan to use this as a landing hub, seeing as that's a much better way for population control, I found, that means I want to watch out what I put where. Let's put housing there, and we'll bring in a landing pad. Now, the landing platform, the original one, is aesthetics 0.3. Yeah, so it gives you a little bit of beauty. There is, however, a flat one now, which is a 2x2. And instead of aesthetics, it gives ecology -5. So it's basically a concrete platform in the middle of your area, which can let people come in quickly. That said, though, 15 matter, 350 crypto, versus 5 matter and 150 crypto. So it is substantially cheaper. Something like between a third and a half of the cost overall. Though the drawback is it takes up a flat place rather than anything else. So what I think is I'll actually install this over here. Let's do it like that. That should hopefully be a bit more sheltered against anything incoming raids, because these two sides don't have other islands in the way, basically. So I'll do that and we'll get these things moving. But we need those two before any kind of landing can go on. And this is where I wish I had more information. Because right now I don't know if this island has uranium or not.
Large construction completed.
Oh, look, the bridges are starting to come over. Nope.
Medium
And we've stopped.
completed.
We've got passengers coming in.
Medium
Okay.
construction completed.
Ready for next round of constructions.
Medium construction completed.
But yeah, I don't know which islands have uranium or good matter or anything like that without doing research first. I'm also, because Heaven Water is the central city, I'm going to accept my rewards here, because when you accept a reward, it only goes to the city you're actually in at the time. So Split and Spire don't get that 250. Heaven Water just got it. So you're still working. You've got your bridge up. Bridge is a decent connection. It allows 15 people per day to move to and fro. So for a very small outpost, it can actually sustain people working in another city. It also allows limited goods transfer, though it is trading, by the way, so buying and selling from the different cities involved is involved there. And lastly, if you get some tech upgrades for it, they provide links between your cities in various ways. So you can even out things like water and power in the form of batteries. So if you have a really strong uranium place, you can turn that into basically a large power plant, and it can feed the other two cities directly.
Objective completed.
Okay, got that. Okay, next round of building though. We need matter. Because we need to build, frankly. If we don't build, we are going to have a bit of a short time of it. Since this is a core island though, I am actually putting down 3 matter mines, just for accelerated growth. This might turn out to be a bad thing in the long run though.
Large construction completed.
Because if this turns out to be a really
New citizens
shoddy
arrived.
place to have matter mines, then,
Large construction completed.
you know, that's not going to help too much. I'm also going to go for maximum boost, which is the powered mine. Would be nice if they showed me the title of these things here, but they don't. But just the pure extra 1 material without any extra refining is a very strong opener. Spire, meanwhile, because of that wrecked storage place, I'm actually going to give you guys a recycling plant as well. Just to deal with that rubble, you know? Plus it's a small source of matter too, though these guys won't be working yet because they don't have a connection anywhere. For that, we need these guys.
Medium construction completed.
Almost tempted to get a second landing pad. You know, let's go for it. Let's accelerate, at least to start out. Let's grab a secondary landing pad. Since until the rating drops, you can build up 15 people wanting to come in faster than the actual landing pad can bring them down. So might as well do that.
Large construction completed. New
And this is the new
citizens
landing
arrived.
pad. Very bare bones, as you can see. It's basically just like a couple of walls, a platform with uranium barrels stacked haphazardly on it, and a ring which acts as a target for the actual little passenger shuttles to come down. So that's all there is to it. But as you can see, I'm already kind of full, so I'm going to bring in some more people already. And because of that, we need something to do with these people too. Let's check our warehouse. I wasn't doing this last time because I'd forgotten about it. But if I click my warehouse, I can... Oh, that is very promising. Plus 75 matter production. This island is rich in matter from initial appearances. But we can actually see the rate at which different resources are coming and going. So 75 matter, minus 5 per day on batteries. At least right now. I don't know if it takes time to correlate that or not, but it's stuff that we need to be aware of. Though that said, we still have plenty of matter in the warehouses, and in light of that, let's get our other two cities operational and get those bridges built. The 3 drones are going to be struggling though to keep up this pace, but it's early days yet.
New citizens arrived.
Oh yeah, look at that matter fly. Oh yes. That's all going pretty strong right now, actually. There's something I think I will do, because I'm actually getting a lot of people, and so unemployment benefits an issue.
Medium construction
Let's
completed.
actually get a university out, which I think I'll place here. Right next to a very noisy and polluting landing pad, but I'm sure the university students will be just fine with that.
New citizens arrived.
As you can see, people are flowing really quickly, and because that train's already up there, we'll find 11 people have already migrated to the spire. Note, by the way, that this does not mean more people will come over here, and I can only migrate 15 people per day, because that is the cap on this bridge. But only the people that have a guaranteed workplace will move if there's living space available on the next island over. So this place actually is becoming functional. I'll also go over to Split and upgrade their matter mine as well, just to make sure they've got a trickle of resources. But as of yet, their bridge is not yet complete, so no one's moved in.
Medium construction
There it
completed.
goes. Come on, Spire. We need 12 people over here.
Medium construction completed.
And there we go. We got 12 people plus
New
3
citizens arrived.
who tried to come in to do work from Heaven Water, but their job's already been taken over, so that's not going to last. So there we go. As a note, though, for people to migrate to a different city, they must not have a workplace in the city they're coming from. So unless I maintain excess manpower in Heaven Water, nobody will be able to move to Split or Spire, and I'm going to have to name those. So I'm thinking about that. You know what? Let's do this. We got 3 cities, and I know for a fact I can only record 2 parts right now. Oh, we've got universities up. Let's do research. The most important research, and the one I always go for, geoprospecting. It's also a pretty simple one too, it's pretty quick. Let's do that, and that will give us the extra information about these different islands, and we can see what we're trying to do. But yeah, this video and the next video, so this part and the next one, will be recorded and go out in 2 days in a row. And then from the comments of those, I think I'll draw place names from those. So if you have a suggestion,
Completed.
this video and the next, let me know. And we'll see what there is to be seen. Okay, research is up. So we have got extra stats, and as I thought, excellent matter deposits on this place. We got 100% matter, so max efficiency on those 3 matter productions sites. We got maximum soil fertility as well, so we can actually make open crop fields. We got max energy. The only things we're short on this island from this actually is like groundwater, 23%, and uranium is at 52%, which is actually really good, believe it or not. It means there's decent amounts of uranium, but not enough that we can say, oh, this is a uranium paradise. We can mine uranium though to sustain things though. Split is disappointing still. Soil fertility 47, matter is only 24, so that'll only give us a trickle of resources. No fish and no uranium, so Split doesn't really have much going for it. Let's be honest, there's not much here. Then our last one, Spire. Ooh, this is 100% uranium, 100% fish, and 44 matter deposits, that's decent. Soil fertility is absolutely rubbish though at 29%. So now we've got that information, that lets me decide what to do next, and I will do so. So, low soil fertility, that means we need an indoor crop farm to ensure that we are growing food. We have great groundwater though, so I'm going to set up a water extractor immediately. I'll pop that, actually, let's pop it there. So that's food and water taken care of for this place. Our power demand is currently at 35. Wind is our best renewable at 51%. So that's 40, so each of these will produce a constant 20. So technically I could get away with 2 of these, but we are going to be expanding and building more stuff. So we want more power than that. 20, 40, 60 should hold over the Spire, at least for the moment. And that should get this place ticking over on a nice steady keel. And we don't need any extra housing or anything with that. So that should be just fine. Excellent. Just looking at my matter, because I'm also thinking I forgot to put in a trade port. I don't want to go any closer to the cliff edge than that. So the trade port's going to be slightly inefficient. Can't be helped though. But I'm thinking we want this to be like right here. And that'll be the trade link for the Spire. Right, Split. You're up next. And by the way, I wanted this here because of I mentioned last time that we can use these trade portals for exporting excess resources. The problem is if we export them to another city, that city has to pay full price for them. Exporting goods to orbit, you get a pittance, basically, for it. You get very, very little. And I'm not kidding about that. That is actually one of the drawbacks of exporting stuff. It brings extra money into the map, basically, but you don't get much money. Also, I'm looking at the time, we're like a third of the way towards the first wave. We're going slow, but that's because I am building quite a bit as we go. Now you guys are undelivered matter 90. Blimmin' heck. These guys are swimming in spare matter. And we have, of course, if we look at this, there is a matter cost and a crypto cost for an indoor one. Plus it requires, it consumes a bunch of power rather than granting some extra ecology. So it's actually better for the environment if we have open air crop fields in place. So that's one of the advantages of going with an open air crop field. And I think I'm going to pop it here. Along with, of course, a water facility. Now remember, groundwater is absolutely rubbish here. So we want that to be a filter instead. This can pump directly out of water sources, but it's got to be next to it in what would potentially be a fishing spot. So let's pop it there. They're also a lot more expensive to put together, but they don't depend on groundwater levels. So that's all fine.
Medium construction completed.
Honestly, I think that
Large construction completed.
our 2 secondary sites,
Medium
you've got power.
construction
I've not given
completed.
Split or Heaven Water any power supplies, actually that's why.
Huge construction completed.
But we are still ticking over towards when we get the first wave, so we do need to start getting defences up and ready. Split, you are done. Let's give you defences. And we're going to start with the basics. We're going to start with a regular defensive turret. Don't worry though, it's not going to be just one. I'm actually going to put down 2 in each corner. This is overkill, honestly. But if there's one thing my testing has pointed out, it is that when it comes to dealing with regular marauders, there is no kill quite like overkill. You want them dead as soon as possible. Because as soon as they're dead, the less damage they're going to do. Flat out, that's actually that's as complex as it gets. They come in, and you want to blow stuff up. It doesn't even help if it's only like if you put like cheap or decoy structures, which is another comment from previous parts. That doesn't help because their attacks actually scatter very rapidly as soon as they get into range of more stuff. Let's put one there and pop one there. So yeah, you really can't shield things too well by having a layer of structures. All you can do is affect basically what they're going to shoot at first. But beyond that, your city's going to get a hit no matter what you do. And which is a shame, honestly. But it is also how it works, so that is why I'm laying down initial defences. Admittedly, 2 guns right now I think is overkill. At least for the cities of the size that they are. But they're also going to bleed some colonists out of Heaven Water, which is a little bit high. But that is just fine. Heaven Water is going to need upgrading soon, though.
Small construction completed.
And we're not going to distract our drones by giving trade orders. We need defences in place.
Small construction completed. Small construction completed.
I should also note, by the way, since I was recorded last, one of the
Small
updates is
construction
that the drones
completed.
actually move slightly slower. Why have you stopped? Are you out of matter?
Trading
You are out of matter. We're going to buy... Yeah, we're going to say these cities, Spire and Split, if you're running low on matter, buy some in from Heaven Water. Matter is incredibly cheap, but Heaven Water has got lots of it. And yeah, Spire is out of matter as well. Anyway, what I was saying is that there's actually... The drones are slightly slower, but they can actually hold 2 resources each instead of 1. Which is actually a big difference, because it makes them a lot more efficient.
Small construction completed.
You guys are doing good. The drones over in Heaven Water are getting distracted by the purchase orders, but they are shipping matter across on these trains. I've just set it so that if the other places run low, they'll bring it in from across the bridge. So that's all I've done to it, at least right now. But I think, from the timing, we're going to round out our first part just by having our first wave hit. Though some of our cities are woefully unprepared. Heaven Water, how are your preparations going? Your preparations are actually all complete. Heaven Water is only lacking... Oh, Heaven Water's out of power. I fell into my own trap. Heaven Water doesn't even have a... Yeah, it can't build more because it doesn't have the things. Its power is literally about to collapse. I've caught it just in the nick of time, but even then I don't think I'm going to be able to react fast enough. But this is one of my problems. When I get caught up on something, I start doing stuff and then I forget to keep an eye on it. Basically. Let's put that there. Does anyone else have spare batteries? You've got some. You've got some. Spire, you actually have... Yeah, you see, we don't quite have enough power here in Spire, not with the upgrowth, but we do have some spare batteries, so I'm going to tell you to send some batteries across on a one-time sale to Heaven Water. And I'm also going to tell you to build an extra power plant, because you need some. And you also need a power charger station as well. This is something I actually forgot about. It slipped my mind that I was going to need some extra bits and pieces, so... Whoopsie! I think is the best word there. Whoopsie daisy. Yeah, there we go. Heaven Water's power just collapsed.
Trading platform arrived.
And we've got a hit.
Small construction
Luckily it's coming
completed.
in on splits. Well, actually that's unlucky. Half of Split's turrets are not actually up yet. So Now, how well this is going to go depends on which direction the hit's going to come in from. And it's coming in from one of the sides which is not actually finished yet. Yep. This. Well, we're going to take some damage. But that's okay for the most part. Apart from the fact we've lost a couple of bits and pieces. Basically, we've lost the entire city. It's not critical, though. It's just really, really bad. So, we've got some options here. Which I'm going to have to go into next time, though, because we have actually just... Yeah, that was our first attack, and it got through pretty quickly. But we can recover from it at this stage, so, yeah. Even though I knew what I was doing, I've already mismanaged and done bad things. Also, if you are low on power, buy in 15... if you're low 15, buy power in automatically, please. We're going to reverse that flow, don't worry, but right now it's expensive because I mismanaged it. So, until next time, this has been Iron Mark 3. Thank you all very much for watching. Hope you guys are enjoying this continuation of Cliff Empire, sorry. And I'll catch you all some other time as I start the rebuilding process. Heaven water, how much matter do you have? Plenty. But yeah, see you all later.